All right, we're about to uncork a story that's going to totally flip the script on what you think you know about drinks from Mexico. This isn't just about history, it's about a full-blown revolution that's been bubbling up for, get this, over 400 years.
So let me ask you something. When you think of drinks from Mexico, what actually comes to mind? Go on, take a second. For most of us, right, it's probably a couple of very specific things.
Yep, I'm guessing tequila, right? Maybe a frosty beer with a lime wedge? And look, you're not wrong. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a much, much older story hiding just underneath.
Okay, but what if I told you that the oldest winery in the entire American continent is in Mexico? No, not in California, not in Chile, not Argentina. Right there in Mexico. This isn't some new hipster trend. This is a renaissance, centuries in the making. So to really get what's happening now, we've got to jump in the time machine and go way, way back. I'm talking like when Shakespeare was still dropping his first plays. This history, it's the absolute foundation of everything.
Just look at that number, 1597. Let that sink in for a second. That's over a century and a half before the first missions in California even started thinking about planting vineyards. It's just incredible.
And this is it, Casa Madero, tucked away in the state of Coahuila. Now, this isn't some dusty old museum. It is a living, breathing winery that's been running continuously since the Spanish crown first gave them the okay. We're talking about history you can actually pour in a glass and taste.
Okay, so let's fast forward from those ancient roots to today, because what's sprung up from that history is a modern wine scene that is just buzzing with energy and its own totally unique identity.
All right, so where is all this wine coming from today? Well, you can see right here, the big player is the Valle de Guadalupe. In Baja California, we're talking a whopping 2/3 of all Mexican wine. Its climate is a lot like the Mediterranean, so, perfect for grapes. But check out the rest of this chart. From the high deserts of Coahuila, where it all started, to the Central Highlands, winemaking is popping up everywhere, and each place is doing its own thing.
So if Mexico had a signature grape, a star player, it would have to be Nebbiolo. But hold on, this isn't your Italian grandpa's Nebbiolo. You see, in Mexico's sunny climate, the grape gets to fully ripen on the vine. Think of it like a piece of fruit. It gets juicier, more flavorful. This makes the wine have a fuller body, tons of fruit flavor, and it tames those famously harsh tannins. The result is a wine that's big and bold, but also super approachable right away.
Okay, quick wine lesson. In old school places like France or Italy, wine is all about rules. Super strict rules. They're called appellations, and they tell you exactly which grapes you can grow and how you have to make the wine. It's all about tradition.
And here is where things get really interesting. Mexico? It doesn't really have that rigid, old-school system. And what sounds like a weakness is actually its superpower. This lack of rules has turned the whole country into a winemaker's paradise, a total playground. They can experiment, they can blend grapes that would be totally forbidden in Europe. Like, imagine mixing Cabernet with Nebbiolo. It's created this incredible spirit of, let's try it and see what happens.
So with all this wild creativity and experimentation happening, you gotta ask, right? Who's actually drinking all this wine? Well, the answer, it's probably not who you think. You see, for the longest time, the industry was marketing to men. But look at the data. It tells a totally different story. It's women who are leading the charge here, making up 55% of wine drinkers in the country. They're the ones really driving this whole movement.
Okay, so we've got this passionate growing fan base led by women who are hungry for local wine. Sounds perfect, right? Well, not so fast. It's actually a massive uphill battle. There are some really tough challenges in the way.
Challenge number 1, the fight for their own turf. I mean, can you believe this? Even with this incredible history and quality, Mexican wine is still the underdog at home. Over 70% of the wine drunk in Mexico is actually imported. Part of that is scale, sure, but the biggest reason is price. And that leads us to the single biggest roadblock.
42%. Just look at that number. That's not a typo.
On average, a jaw-dropping 42% of what you pay for a bottle of Mexican wine is just taxes.
And to really understand how insane that is, just look at this comparison. A winery in California, they're paying around 8%. In Oregon, 0%. That massive tax in Mexico is this brutal 1-2 punch of a value-added tax and a special luxury tax. It makes it almost impossible for local producers to compete on price, even against imports in their own country.
But here's the thing about this industry. They're fighters. They are not just sitting around complaining, they are innovating, they're collaborating, and they're fighting to claim their spot. The future is very much fermenting, and they're the ones shaping it.
And one of their smartest moves tackles the problem right at the root. I mean, literally. Instead of spending a ton of money importing vines from Europe, they're teaming up with France's top vine experts to build certified nurseries in Mexico. This is a total game changer. It gives their growers affordable access to healthy, world-class plants and makes the whole industry stronger and more self-sufficient from the ground up.
And they've put their ambition right out there for everyone to see. The Mexican Wine Council has set this incredibly bold goal. By 2028, they want 5 out of every 10 bottles consumed in the country to be Mexican wine. That's a huge jump from where they are now. It's basically a declaration. We're coming for our home market.
So think about it. You take 400 years of history, you mix it with this fearless, innovative spirit, and what you get is more than just wine. It's a movement. It's a revolution. It's happening right now. So the only real question left is, are you ready for it?